What's up guys, welcome to Supercars of London, welcome to a special episode of Exhaust Expert. Today, there are two idiots with glasses on pretending to be experts about exhausts, however, one of us needs the glasses.
Yeah, me.
Welcome to Zach. If you haven't seen Zach on my YouTube channel before, we've played a few pranks on each other. We've done a few road trips together. And actually, myself and Zach actually set Supercars of London up in 2008. So I feel that the Gallardo, the 2005 to 2008 era of Lamborghini are our speciality.
Yeah.
And that is exactly what we are going to be talking about today. Not only am I going to be reviewing my stock exhaust system on the Huracan, I'm going to be talking to you about what exhaust system I'm going to be upgrading to very, very soon, and talking about the evolution of that engine, the 5.2 litre V10 that sits behind my driver's seat. Let's roll out and go for a drive. You got your glasses on? Still got your glasses on, good. And let's just start with the fact that I'm still in the run-in period on the Huracan, so we can't go too crazy. We can't do launch controls, we can't do any burnouts to get the sound out of this exhaust. But
you could.
I could, but it's probably not very good for the car. And the main aim for today is not necessarily to review the stock system, because we all know how the Huracan sound. They come in three forms from the factory. You can get a stock standard exhaust system, which is the same that's on this car. You can get the sports exhaust, which is a little bit louder, and then you got the race exhaust, which is the Huracan engine turned up to level 15. And it is pretty crazy, it is very barky, and it sounds great. However, what we are here to talk about is the evolution of exhaust systems, starting with the Gallardo. And myself and Zach, we've probably filmed every single Gallardo aftermarket exhaust system that there is to film.
Definitely.
So I feel like we are actually experts. The first time ever.
This is probably our playing field. This is actually something that we know quite a lot about.
So we're going to get quite nerdy, we're going to get quite geeky, but at the same time, hopefully you enjoy and understand what we're talking about. And then at the end, once we have summarized all of the Gallardo exhaust systems and why we love them, why we don't love them, and into the Huracan, I'm going to be telling you guys what exhaust system I'm getting on this car, and it's coming sooner than you think. Whilst we get the car warm, let's talk about the original Gallardo, the 2004 to 2006, the pre-Gallardo Spider era. And in our eyes, I'm pretty much talking, I haven't even asked you this, the worst sounding Gallardo that there is.
Yeah. The worst sounding Lamborghini.
Period.
Probably. The Miura has more character than that car does.
So the Gallardo, when it first came out, 540 brake horsepower, 5 litre V10. And literally, it was the quietest car ever. It was so quiet. We filmed quite a few of them, and they usually came in blue Callium, which is that like blue with the really big chunky wheels.
Yeah, just whoa.
And now it kind of looks dated. But then moving forward to 2006 or late 2005.
So England 55 reg.
Yeah, it's the 55 plate. It was halfway through 2005 these started to come out, because that was when the Gallardo Spider came out. It was slightly revised, but the main improvement that the Gallardo had was the butterfly valve exhaust system, which in my eyes and in your eyes is still possibly one of the greatest sounding cars to date.
It's probably the most iconic sounding car to me.
Yeah. Once the valves open, it's literally like goes from completely silence to because it was quite barky.
Yeah.
But the likes of Tubi and the likes of Larini, when they came in, it completely changed the car, transformed it. It screamed.
Tubi was just the most raw noise.
but it screamed. It was a completely different tone to the original Gallardo, the stock Gallardo sound.
Yeah.
Moving forward, after 2008, the LP560, the 5.2 litre V10 was introduced, and when we first heard it, we were like, why are the revs so lazy? The revs are lazy.
That's a very good way to explain it. We heard it, we were like, okay, and that was the sort of excitement of the 560, the LP560. When we saw him in London, we were like, well, yeah. We'd run after a Gallardo Spider, but not a LP560.
We'd want to film the Gen 1 Gallardos more than we would the LP series. And then I owned one, and I knew when I bought it that it didn't sound as good as the old one, and I did everything that I could to make it sound crazy, and it did sound crazy, but again, it was noise. It was just, there was no tone to it. It couldn't rival a V12 Ferrari. It was just pure noise.
Yeah.
It continues to go. So the Gallardo,
weird thing.
Because the sound from the Gallardo, it kind of like, it kicked in every gear, like, but here it's like so seamless, like. Has kind of moved forward from the Gallardo and the LP560. We loved those cars and we loved the sound of them, and the Huracan, I think it's safe to say that we were a little disappointed that it sounded quite similar to the LP560. Adding the double clutch gearbox and the engineered crackles on the overrun, it does have a slightly different character to it.
And I think you can play with the exhaust quite a lot. With the 560 you put Larini, you put Tubi, all those exhausts, they did really have similar characteristics.
Well, the LP560, you couldn't change the tone of the car.
It was just that.
It was just that sound. So the Huracan tone, let's take away the gearbox, let's take away the crackles, sounds quite similar to the Gallardo LP560. A little bit more refined, a little bit more smooth. However, fundamentally, the Huracan does sound quite similar.
Pretty much is around that sort of
to the 560.
Noise.
This is where the good discussion starts. We've talked about the Gallardo, we've heard some of them, we've talked about some of the Huracan aftermarket exhaust systems, and one thing that once I realised that I wanted a Huracan as my next car, I started looking at aftermarket exhaust systems, as you would, because to me, a stock car is not really a car that I want to own. I want to change the tone and I want to make it raw, I want to make it exciting, I want people to hear me coming, as we obviously felt every time that we were in London. We wanted to hear the car coming before we actually saw it. So this moves on to the discussion of my exhaust system and what is happening. So,
what is happening?
Well, I will tell you. I looked at Larini. Larini is a great system on the Huracan. It sounds phenomenal. TGE had one.
Been done. It's out there.
It's out there.
People have got Larini Huracans. It's probably one of the most popular aftermarket for a Huracan. Let's put a Larini on it.
Yeah. Frequency intelligence, make a good exhaust system. armytrix, make a good exhaust system. Capristo, make a solid exhaust system. But one thing that I wanted to do to the Huracan, as I've discussed, I wasn't too impressed with the LP560 tone, and the Huracan is quite similar, but I do know that this is a little bit more tunable and you can engineer a lovely tone out of it, because I've heard it. We're going custom on this one, guys.
Exclusive.
Exclusive to Supercars of London, because it's on my channel. So you may remember the first ever episode of Exhaust Xpert was with TGE and his Brooke's race exhaust, or BRE for short. So when Tom got his exhaust system sorted on the F12, I met the owner of Brooke Race Exhaust System, and we started to talk about what are the possibilities or the capabilities of this absolute legend's sort of, his speciality is building exhaust systems. But not only that, he builds custom exhaust systems tailor-made to what the customer wants and needs. And I said to him, can you create a smooth, high-pitched, exotic tone that will rival a Ferrari V12 or even a Lamborghini V12? The LP640 is our favourite sounding cars alongside the Gallardo Spider. Can you engineer that into the Huracan? And he goes, no problem. And I was like, what? And he was like, it's all to do with the way that the exhaust bends, the materials that are used as well. So Brooke Race Exhaust Systems are quite unique, and they are going to be building my custom exhaust system out of Inconel, which is used in Formula One.
Okay.
And the specific type of material used massively varies the tone of the exhaust. So if you're using stainless steel, it's quite a thick material, meaning that when it flows through the exhaust, it's quite a deep tone and you can't really escape that. However, titanium, because the material can withstand more temperature, you can make it thinner.
Okay.
Meaning that it's more high-pitched. Inconel can go to 1,000 degrees, I'm pretty sure it's 1,000 degrees. Stainless steel is around 500 degrees. Titanium is around 700, this is 1,000, meaning that you can go so thin on the material that you just create such a high-pitched resonation through the material as it flows through the exhaust. So combining a completely custom design that is going to be fitted to the back box of my car, plus the materials, this car, for the first time I think ever, a Huracan is going to scream. Rather than bark really loudly, it's going to scream.
Everything about it.
It's still going to have the Lamborghini V10. We're not getting away from the rawness of this exhaust system.
It needs to scream.
However,
Lambo needs to scream.
It needs to scream, and I think what Brooke Race Exhaust, or BRE, I call them BRE, but feel free to call them whatever you want.
Brooke Race Exhaust or BRE.
Yeah. I think what they are about to produce for this car is going to be one of its kind on the Huracan, and that is what I am so damn excited about. Literally, I knew that I was collecting the car, and one of the first videos that I'd written down was Exhaust Expert. I need to do an Exhaust Expert. Even if I'm not reviewing the stock exhaust system, I need to talk about what I want to achieve with the Huracan. And it's just instant power. It is so addictive because it is naturally aspirated. So all of the torque, I've been told from Craig at Lamborghini, 75% of the torque is at 0 revs. So immediately when you put your foot down, you've already got 75% of the torque. Whereas in my AMG GTS, all of the torque came in the mid-range. So you were pushing on, then all of a sudden it was like whoosh. One question we haven't answered is, when is this happening? Well, as this video is being uploaded, it's already started. Actually, as we're filming this, my exhaust has already begun to be built.
That's right now. It's been
right
built.
Right now. That is how soon and how quickly I'm working, but also I'm working with BRE, and this is just such an exciting project. I think quite a lot of people were probably assuming that I was going to get armytrix.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm changing this time up. Like, I want to do something. I want to do it different. I want to just change it up and
keep it fresh.
A little bit of fun. Keep it fresh. In all honesty, as great as some of the already mass-produced aftermarket exhaust systems are, and as good as they sound, I wanted to do something completely different and something probably I wasn't even expecting to do.
I'm so intrigued.
I'm really intrigued because there's no sort of videos online of how I am expecting it to sound, and I have no idea how it's going to sound. And I know that if I put armytrix on, or Capristo, or Larini, or whatever it would be to the back of this car, even on the first startup, I would know what it was going to sound like.
Yeah,
so
that's
the first startup of this car and the first drive is going to be so unknown that I'm probably going to be just making a silent video, just like hearing little bits and pieces. I'm not actually going to do any talking. Oh, we've got a little underpass here.
Yes.
This is so fast! This video is more of an announcement of what is to come with the Huracan. We have finished project number 1, the Project Balboni. We are now on project BRE, meaning this car is going to scream. I'm going to leave all of their details in the description below so that you can check out some of the work that they've already done, because they haven't just done Tom's F12. I'm not basing my decision on getting a completely custom exhaust system off one exhaust system that they've built. They have done all sorts of crazy cars that you need to check out so that you can get an understanding of just the level of work that these guys are putting in. And I will be documenting the whole process. This car is now going to be headed over to SB Race Engineering, where the work can begin on getting the stock exhaust system off, and then Brooke's Race Exhaust are going to take it away, scan it, and make sure that they work their ultimate magic on my Huracan.
This kid has no idea what's behind him. He has no idea what's behind him.
Right guys, I hope you've enjoyed this episode and an insight into what is happening on project number 2 on the Lamborghini Huracan. Hopefully you can get as just excited as I am. Please give this video a like and subscribe for more, because things are going to get loud on Supercars of London, as you would expect, but not as loud as the guy heard it. They're not going that.
Cảm ơn các bạn đã theo dõi. Các bạn hãy bấm like, comment và hãy bấm nút đăng ký để ủng hộ cho kênh mình nha.